Hello, my leaders. Welcome to March week number 2. This week we are still talking about forgiveness, which is all about deciding that someone who has wronged you does not have to actually pay or get repaid for what they did wrong to you. And basically what we're doing is going through that Colossians 3:13 verse, put up with one another. Forgive one another if you are holding something against someone. Forgive just as the Lord forgave you. And so today's bottom line, as we talk about Zacchaeus, is going to be when you forgive others, it can change them, right? And so if you remember the story of Zacchaeus, basically he goes up in the tree, and when he goes up in the tree, Jesus calls him out from the tree, says, I'm gonna go eat dinner at your house, and goes and eats dinner at this sinner's house, right? And when he gets to the house and he sees the forgiveness and love that Jesus is giving, then Zacchaeus wants to give back like all that he's wronged, and like 4 times or 3 times or something like that. So it's awesome. Like it's a huge heart change for Zacchaeus because of how much that the Lord has changed him in that moment. And so it's a really cool story that we get to go through with these children. As they understand forgiveness and understand like even giving back in more generous manner. Like we can go that route too. And so this one for the kindergarten first, we're just gonna start with some Play-Doh, and your first activity is just molding something with Play-Doh, okay? And so creating something is what we're going for. Just like Zacchaeus becomes a new creation after he receives this forgiveness, so we can also create and make new things out of the same Play-Doh, right? Kind of like how the Lord also molds us, and how we're like his clay, and he is the potter, and he's able to like mold us in a certain way. Now your next activity, you'll have like a tablecloth that you can put down on the ground and whatnot, and then you'll have some dirty pennies, and then you'll have like a little bit of ketchup and some toothpaste and stuff. What they can do is get them in like little groups and then give them a couple of pennies each. What they're going to do is they're going to see the cleaning power of the ketchup or the toothpaste or both or whatever. And so what you're going to do is go ahead and like, have them put a little toothpaste on it, rub it in a little bit, give it a minute, and then rinse it off in the water bin that you have. And then you'll have another, a little thing with like the ketchup, and just a little bit goes a long way. I mean, you got to it's a little penny. You just got to do like a little drop and then rub it in a little bit and it'll be fine. And so do that as we see how it changes into something new, into like a new creation. It becomes more shiny. It becomes more joyful. It's like how God is creating and bringing out what we were truly meant to be as we seek forgiveness and as we seek him. And so as we become that new creation, that's what it's all about. Then you'll go from the large group and learn about the Zacchaeus story and whatnot. If you want to move that one to later, you can. I would understand how you might want to, make that an after video activity, up to you, however you want to do it. Then your prayer activity, of course, definitely make sure that we're doing connecting, studying, and praying, right? And so connecting with them, making sure that that they know each other, that they know you, that you're getting to know them, that they're getting their chance to talk, all of that stuff so that they be heard. Connecting, studying, of course, like opening the Bible. Let's talk about the Bible. Let's dive deep into it, and then praying together. And that's what this one here is, praying, right? And so as we pray, we can just be like, God, would you help us have the forgiveness and generosity just like Zacchaeus had, right? And then this next one, you're going to make a little fun puppet theater puppets. And so you'll have like a little Zacchaeus puppet that they can put on a craft stick. And when they do all of that, they can color it and stuff. They can cut it out themselves and whatnot. And so have them do that little craft as you're talking through the story, and go through the big parts of the story, which are on your paper as well. That'll really help them solidify everything that's going on there. It was 4 times. Yeah. Okay. So Zacchaeus promises to pay back 4 times of what he had taken from all these people. And so like, it's just a really cool story of generosity for Zacchaeus, and how much forgiveness really changed him. And so go through that one too. That one would be a really good one. Then why forgiveness? This one is where you're going to have some like coffee filters, and basically what they're going to do is write someone. You can either do it to where the way that it's written in here is to like write someone that you love, and so write the name of someone, like a parent, a sibling, a best friend, something like that, in the center of that coffee filter. And then you're gonna have some spray bottles, and these are just water. And so what you do is when you spray the coffee filter with water and it has the writing on it, it just makes a cool new creation, a new design out of it. And so even though it was like a name, it kind of either becomes a cooler name depending on how much water you use, or like it just becomes like a big blur of coolness. And so when they do that, it'll just just be a fun experiment for them. And then make sure those are laid out on the towel so that they can dry as well, or that tarp or whatever you have done on the floor for it, okay? Then you have a playground ball, and for your last activity, which is the memory verse one, with this playground ball, the memory verse is pretty long this month, and so definitely work with them to try to get that memory verse down. But you can just all sit in a circle and then pass it, and each person can say one word of the verse as you pass it along. And so encourage them. This week is only the second week of a really long verse, and so if you even want to have it laid out somewhere to where they can kind of sight read it a little bit and see if they can get the word, then that's totally fine too. We're just looking for them to get it in their minds and repetition as much as possible. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. We will see you guys in a little bit.